I think it was back in 2010 when I was thinking about politics and being part of the European Union. I was all for reform. I wasn't happy with the way that the European Union and Brussels, unelected bureaucrats who we had no idea who they were and didn't get a chance to vote for them. I was never given an opportunity to vote for anyone in the top tier of the European Union. The European president, I had no idea who the hell it was at the time. But I didn't like the way they were telling member countries how to run their affairs. I saw them as bullies, and I thought, well, being part of the European Union is a good thing. It must be. Then again, back then I didn't know too much. And I was all for reform. I wanted the European Union, with Britain inside it, to reform. And then the more I learned about the European Union, the more I researched, the more I wanted out. I think still to this day, it is to Britain's benefit that we leave lock, stock, and barrel, but we should have done it sooner. As soon as we had that vote in 2016, Britain should have left that morning and caught Brussels, the unelected bureaucrats, on their back feet. Because at the end of the day, European Union needs Britain more than Britain needs the European Union. I don't like them, and I don't like the way they operate. They are nothing more than thieving bullies who are prepared to stoop to stinking lows in order to keep their greedy grasp on nations and their money. Look what they did with the Northern Ireland backstop, where Brussels threatened to engulf Ulster in more troubles by putting in a very hard border. Northern Ireland, Ulster didn't need to be touched. Northern Ireland, Ulster was working. And Brussels was a weird setup anyway. It seemed to me around 10 years ago, it was Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany at the time, who was dictating to them their policies and how to go about things. She was telling Brussels how many migrants Britain should take in. I thought that was unacceptable because Angela Merkel isn't British. I didn't vote for her to govern me or my country, and she has nothing to do with this island. So who the hell was she to dictate to Britain how to run our affairs? It was just disgusting. So there was no doubt in my mind I had to vote Brexit. And the behaviour of the Brussels elite, Guy Verhofstadt and his ilk towards Britain and Brexiteers, demonising us, and the Europhiles in this country as well, on this island, who are demonising us simply for wanting to leave the European Union, convinced me even more. You had Plaid Cymru Plank, a misguided, ill-informed, dangerous socialist, Welsh nationalist, Leanne Wood, labelling all Brexiteers Nazis, comparing us to genocidal maniacs. That is unacceptable. And you've got that top-hatted lamp in Parliament Square with his loudspeakers, Steve Bray, real name Dave Allen, who is still making a public nuisance of himself and harassing Brexiteer politicians and the public alike. And then, of course, there was the mainstream media and social media. They were all biased. They were all against us, trying to prevent us from leaving the European Union. And that followed up after we won with the ludicrous so-called People's Vote. A bunch of wealthy middle class, top-end socialists who don't think a people's vote is a people's vote when it doesn't go their way. And so we got Brexit after years of Parliament just trying everything in its power to dampen it and prevent it. The Tories put in a Remainer Prime Minister in Theresa May, and she was fighting a pro-Brexit opposition leader in Jeremy Corbyn, who had been forced to become a Remainer simply because of the party he was in and his position as leader. It was just a massive circus. And then Boris Johnson came in and he was like 50-50. I never trusted him as a Brexiteer anyway, because the night before the vote, he made two speeches, one pro and one against. And he gave us a watered-down Brexit. And to be honest with you, after seeing all the Brexit in the news and the infighting in Parliament and everything else, everyone just accepted it, me included. So it was Brexit in name only. And that was that. Other things happened in the news and we kind of forgot about Brexit. And then the mass illegal migrations happened over the channel. Now, of course, migration is a big, massive issue for Brexit voters. It's the main reason, I think. we all voted, because immigration is a concern. Concern for immigration is neither racist nor is it xenophobic. I think concern for mass immigration is based on fear of losing one's culture and the economy. And we wanted to secure our borders, but our borders simply are not secure. Up to 40,000 illegal migrants have crossed the Channel into Britain this year alone. And they're not stopping, and we're not preventing them. So that means we do not have secure borders. Now, Nigel Farage has a big part in this story. If it wasn't for him, really, we wouldn't have had this Brexit debate nor the vote. And despite the fact that he has failed 7 times to be a Member of Parliament, he is without a doubt one of the most effective and influential politicians of my lifetime. He is relevant, he is talked about, and I'm starting to believe now, despite the fact that I had misgivings about him and I've been on the fence, he's probably the only one who could fix all this shenanigans now. And that's what it is. It's a shenanigans. It's a mess. Because Rishi Sunak, a globalist who was installed into Downing Street like a toilet, he wasn't elected at all, has issued a statement saying he wants more migration to help Britain's economy, despite the fact that there are plenty of unemployed British people here desperate for work. So why bring in more people? And he also wants to see Britain return to the European single market. Now, I don't know about you folks, but when I voted for Brexit, to leave the European Union was the whole point. Lock, stock and barrel. European Courts of Human Rights, the European market, the lot. I didn't want Brussels and elected bureaucrats to have any say whatsoever in how Britain ran her affairs. And this has riled up Nigel Farage so much, he made a video, I think it was yesterday, threatening a return to politics. Now remember, he is the founder of UKIP, United Kingdom Independence Party. He then left that. I wasn't happy about the way he left that to form the Brexit Party. He then told the party members who were standing for election to stand down in order to stop Marxist Jeremy Corbyn getting the keys to Downing Street, and that worked. Boris Johnson won by a landslide. And then he did the Reform Party and kind of disappeared off the political radar and activism and instead concentrated on illegal immigration across the Channel. Now, as much as I appreciate Nigel Farage doing this and going onto the Channel on a boat and filming Dover, etc., he wasn't the first to do it. There are people who have been doing this down there for years. Steve Laws, for example, and another one called Active Patriot. So Nigel Farage can't really claim the credit for all that exposure he's giving us. But now he's threatening to come back, and he has threatened the Tories big time. He said he will annihilate them at the next general election, and they'll be completely routed if they try to do Brexit in name only. And I share Nigel Farage's concerns as well, because I do think that these globalists, Rishi Sunak, etc., and his ilk, they are trying to get us back into the EU through the back door under everyone's noses quietly without us noticing. And this cannot be allowed to happen, because I believe in democracy, the will of the people. We voted for something freely, democratically back in 2016. It was then half-heartedly implemented, and now they're trying to get us back in. And the usual lot are on social media, Twitter especially, trying to convince us that Brexit has been an utter disaster. Now, the reason it's being an utter disaster is because of people like them and Parliament, the Europhiles, pro-EU, pro-Brussels idiots, the shills in there who are bought and paid for, who have hampered Brexit since its inception, since its democratic vote. And the whole thing has been a complete mess that's been held back by people who have no regard and no respect for democracy. And so to that end, because I know what they're doing, you should know what they're doing as well. And if indeed Nigel Farage does come back into politics in order to prevent this wrong from happening and to annihilate the Tories, the so-called Conservative Party, then I'm willing to join him and I will vote for him. And I truly hope to see the Tories get annihilated as well in a general election. And it's high time we had a party, a political party here in the UK that put the will of the people first, our concerns first, our safety first, and our votes first. So all I want is for my winning vote to be implemented. My vote was part of the majority in 2016. The majority won, So just do as we fucking say. How hard is that? Anyway, that's my video. Let me know what you think in the comments. And until the next time, Roger Trout.